Hello, everyone, and welcome to the St. Ignatius Preparatory School Virtual College Fair. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. Just a few housekeeping items before we do get started. There's a Q&A button located at the bottom of your screen, which you can use to ask questions to our presenters at any time. And if you do have a question for a specific college, make sure to mention them within your question. Your camera and microphone are turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you, and this presentation is also being recorded. It will be available within about a week at the same site where you registered. Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our first institution, which is Franklin University, Switzerland.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Harry Herbert, and I represent Franklin University, Switzerland in the United States. So basically, Franklin is an American university. It is accredited both in the United States and in Switzerland, which means that you're getting a dual international degree experience. What that translates to for you is basically the concept of you get a dual international degree when you finish upon your studies, which means that you can basically have job access and graduate school access very literally across the globe. We sit at around 400 students, so we're probably one of the smaller schools represented here today, but that's okay. Don't be scared away by the number. We are wildly international. Only about half of our students come from the United States and North America in particular. The other half come from about 60 other countries, and with over 30 languages spoken on campus, you really get a wonderfully diverse group of students on campus. Unlike most European universities, we do have opportunities for living on campus in the form of residence halls, which we'll talk about briefly here in just a little bit. But in terms of where we're located, we are in the southern region of Switzerland, which is in the canton of Ticino. The city of Lugano specifically is where we're located, at the very bottom of the map there, about 15 minutes drive from the border of Italy. The best ways to get to campus would be to fly into either Milan, which is an hour south of us, or Zurich, which is 2 hours north in the northern part of the country of Switzerland. So for example, if you were to fly into Zurich, you would get off of your flight, go literally across the street to the train station, and from the Zurich main station to Lugano is on the same train line, so you don't even need to change trains along the way. We have a wonderful combination of Italian culture and Swiss values, which basically means the cuisine, the language, the architecture is all going to be Italian in its influence, but at the same time with the wonderful Swiss values, we're basically very rules oriented as a people. For example, the trains must run on time. So although the population says about 55,000, don't be scared away by being in a small place. This is actually one of the largest cities in the country. It swells up to about 100,000 during the day for people coming in for work and whatnot. But it basically is one of the financial capitals of Switzerland, which means you're going to be in a wonderful place to develop your resume and get wonderful opportunities for intercultural experiences. Now, although Italian is the primary language of the region, you do not have to speak another language in order to attend Franklin. It is taught entirely in English, and it's on the American semester system, so it's not going to be a difficult transition for you. So our primary academic focus is that of the humanities and the social sciences. You'll see here some of our popular majors declared on the bottom right there. We also have tracks for pre-med and pre-law. So if you're interested in pursuing those types of programs at graduate school back in the United States, we can very well prepare you for those things. But our primary focus is, of course, the 4-year bachelor's degree experience. Academic travel is one of the key features of the institution that sets us apart in the world. Basically, one of your 5 courses per semester is going to be an academic travel course, which will include 2 weeks of travel to a different country to study that subject, the costs of which are included in tuition. So that includes the accommodation, the experiences, and the travel costs. So you're getting a bit more out of that tuition cost than you otherwise would. They're non-major specific, which means you can be an Icelandic, you can do environmental science in Iceland one semester, followed by business in London the next. So we really try to get you very literally out into the world to experience the things that you're learning. Our orientation process is about a week long, so we really want to make sure that you are getting acclimated to being in a new culture and a new environment halfway across the globe. If you're coming from North America, for example, you're not just going to be thrown into the fire day one. We really want to make sure that you're well prepared for those times that the classes start. And I'm happy to talk about any of these particular items at a later time if you have questions. Residentially, as I'd mentioned previously, we do have 8 residence halls on campus. These are not dorms. The Swiss did not know how to make dorms, and we thank them for that. So you will not have any situation where you have 60 people sharing a hall communally for your bathroom experience. These are basically going to be apartments, so the traditional off-campus living style in the US, on campus for us. The common themes being private bathrooms and kitchens if you want to cook for yourself. We have 2 dining halls on campus as well, so it's very easy for students to engage in those types of activities and dining experiences on campus. In terms of our programs, we have lots of different types of opportunities. Our primary focus, as I mentioned previously, is the 4-year bachelor's degree, but we do have about 20% or so of our students that graduate within 3 years, whether that's bringing in AP, IB, or dual credit courses. That gives them lots of opportunities to graduate early. We also have specifically designed accelerated bachelor's degrees that are designed to be 3 years, in addition to 3+1s, which gets you your master's degree within 4 years. We also have programs for summer and for gap year programs, as well as semester and year-long programs if you wanted to basically attend university in the US and then spend a shorter period of time abroad. Because we're a US school, those credits will transfer very much one-to-one. The application is on the Common App, so it makes it super easy to apply it to our school alongside any of the others that you're looking at. We've been test optional for several years, so students do not have to worry about the SAT or ACT should they not want to. But if you apply before December 1st, that is our early action non-binding deadline, which means that you are put in for an additional scholarship opportunity should you want to apply early during your senior year. Cost-wise, pay attention to the top 2 rows there. Basically, that's all inclusive. It's around $65,000 per year, and we do have scholarships and financial aid to help pay for it. So consider us the same as out-of-state public schools or private schools in the United States. In terms of scholarships, over 70% of our students receive them. They range up to about $25,000 per year. We have the ability to accept FAFSA because we're a US school. We also have EU discounts for students who are citizens for the EU, Switzerland, or for the UK. And we also have opportunities to work on campus as well. Our students go very literally all across the globe for their experiences when they're done at Franklin, whether that's pursuing a bachelor, a master's, or a PhD at places like Oxford, Harvard, or Stanford. At the same time, top companies across the globe as well. That dual international degree experience really helps us out with that. So I will leave it there. I think that's about my time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Up next, we have Wartburg College.
Thank you so much. My name is Kristen Tapworn, and I'm the Regional Assistant Director of Admissions at Wartburg College, and I live and work with all students in the state of Illinois. I'm also a proud Wartburg alum. So I just wanted to point out Wartburg is about 4.5 hours away from the Chicagoland area. We are the orange little dot on your screen, and then we have Urban Studies program experiences in Wartburg West, which is in Denver, Colorado, and Des Moines, Iowa, which were the other 2 dots on the screen. All right, so I also want to point out that we are doing on-campus visits. So if you like what you hear about Wartburg, I hope you'll be encouraged to come visit us on campus. We can personalize visits. We are also doing virtual visits. So now a few brief, fast facts. Wartburg is a private, small liberal arts school located in Waverly, Iowa. We have about 1,500 students in our student body, and our incoming first-year class this year was just over 500 students. Our average class size is 19, and our student to faculty ratio is 11:1. So what this means is you'll get to know your professors very well, and one of your professors in your major will be your academic advisor. Wartburg has over 50 majors, and you can see some of our most popular on the screen now. But I wanted to point out, as a liberal arts institution, you'll take classes that fulfill our essential education requirements. So you'll take a variety of different classes plus electives, earning you a well-rounded education with critical thinking skills and knowledge outside of just your specific major. We have a 4-4-1 academic calendar, so you'll take 4 classes in the fall, 4 classes during winter term, and then 1 class exclusively for May term. And in May term, half of our students will stay on campus, and then the other half of our students will elect to travel with their class and their professor. So we have many opportunities to travel domestically or abroad. Classes going to New York City, or abroad, you can travel to Europe to a Castles and Cathedrals course, or we have drawing and painting in Italy, opportunities to do research and go to Costa Rica and Guyana. And many of these opportunities don't have to be specific to your major. Wartburg West, as I mentioned before, is really popular with our students. You can go to Denver, Colorado, and participate in this urban studies program for a summer or a full semester. You'll take a class out there with Wartburg faculty, and we have 100 different internship opportunities, such as working in a hospital, doing marketing for the professional football or baseball team, or you could do student teaching or field experience hours, pretty much anything for any major. As you can see by the top picture, athletics is a large part of our campus culture. Wartburg has a tradition of athletic excellence, and we have over 650 student athletes that excel in the classroom and in a sport. We have nationally recognized coaches, and we have won more than 25 NCAA Division III national championship titles in our various athletic programs. You'll also notice that music ensembles are very important at Wartburg, and you don't have to be a music major to participate. We have 18 different music ensembles that tour the US and abroad, and they've performed in famous castles and cathedrals around the world, as well as famous concert halls in the United States, such as Carnegie Hall. And if you're not into music or athletics, there are still lots of other ways to get involved on campus. We have over 80 clubs and organizations you can get involved in. And during your first year, you'll attend an involvement fair with one of your classes where you'll learn more about the organizations and have the opportunity to sign up. We have everything covering academics, honor society, service, performance, diversity, political, and more. And if you don't find something that you want to be in, you can just start your own group. Wartburg is a college of the ELCA Lutheran Church, and we have an active spiritual life community on campus and many different ways to get involved in campus ministry. A few highlights, I'm not going to go through everything on this slide, but we have a 97% success rate among graduates. So what this means is we survey our students post-graduation, and this percent comes from job placement or grad school placement. If you come to Wartburg and stay at Wartburg, 92% of those students will graduate in 4 years or less. And we have an 82% med school acceptance rate, which is twice the national average. And although we're in a small town, we do have students representing 38 different US states and 61 different countries, in addition to a student population representing many different Christian and world religions. Another few updates, some new things that are happening at Wartburg is we have a new exercise science major, and we have a brand new exercise science lab that just opened this spring. And we have graduate programs in music therapy and leadership. This was our first year for Clay Target Sports in our athletic department. And we're just wrapping up construction on our 2-story weight room in the W Fitness Center, which will be open to all student athletes in the exercise science majors beginning next year. As far as our admissions process goes, we're part of the Common App, but if you go to our website, our application is free. There's no deadline, non-binding, rolling admission, scholarship opportunities. So with acceptance, you'll automatically start at a $26,000 a year scholarship up to $30,000. We have other opportunities for additional scholarships, for visit days and other scholarship opportunities. As I mentioned, we have a leadership master's degree, but we also have this leadership opportunity for students that would be juniors going into their senior year. So you can earn college credit, and it's $150. It's a 1-week virtual summit. Is my time up? Okay. I just wanted to point out this is how you can connect with me. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or reach out, but I hope you'll consider looking into Wartburg further. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Up next, we have St. Mary's College.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for those who are still here today with us. My name is Ana Martin del Campo. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions Chicago Regional Rep at St. Mary's College. I'm also a very proud alum. So I think that comes hand in hand when you're trying to search more about a college and learn more. I think that gives you a little inside scoop about what the college is about, and I can tell you all about my experience as well. So St. Mary's, founded in 1844, is located in Notre Dame, Indiana. We are a private Catholic, all women's college, liberal arts as well. And before you say, oh my goodness, a women's college, never, please let me know why I would have never gone anywhere else other than St. Mary's, because of the fact that it was an all women's college. But one of the other perks is that while we are 1,600 students, 68% come from out of state. For me, coming from Southern California, I knew that I wanted somewhere where I was going to be with a lot of students from all over the country. And some of the examples that I'll give you is when I didn't have the time to go for Thanksgiving or Easter break home, I would go to my friend's home in either Illinois, Ohio, or Wisconsin, and then they would travel with me to Southern California throughout the summer. So that sense of diversity and being able to have different students coming from all over the country was really crucial to me to have in a college campus. We have students coming from 43 states and territories, 16 countries, and we have, I think, very important to say that 20% of our students come from underrepresented populations, and 27% come from first generation students. So let's talk about the academic excellence. Why are we so different? Why is St. Mary's such a special experience, and why is it such an individualized experience? Well, the first thing is that our average class size is 16. So your student to faculty ratio is 9:1. And what does this mean? It means that you will have your professors there for office hours right after class. They're going to know you so well that they will be able to guide you throughout not just your 4 years, but right after college. When I was a senior, I had no clue what I wanted to do. My professor sat me down and they suggested, how about grad school? And I ended up doing grad school in Italy, which was something I would have never dreamt of if it wasn't for my professors. So that's the type of relationship that you get when you attend St. Mary's. We have 50 plus academic programs. These are some of our most popular majors and most unique. We do reside in a tri-campus community with the University of Notre Dame and Holy Cross College. So that's why you see the engineering 4+1 degree. We're in 5 years to graduate from both St. Mary's College and the University of Notre Dame. So the benefits of a women's college, right? Why would you ever even consider that? What really comes about if you attend? And we just see the outcomes and the facts. I mean, the fact that 81% of students who attend a women's college said that they felt prepared for their jobs versus 65% of them. And 51% of women also completed a grad degree, just like me, versus 27% who attended a public university. And the three words that you will hear when you come to St. Mary's: community, leadership, discovery, and empowerment. I think this is one of the most powerful key words that you will hear throughout campus, because they don't just prepare you for your 4 years on campus, rather they prepare you for a future of leadership, discovery, and community. So student life on campus, because it's not all about going to school and classes, right? I mean, the fact that we live in a tri-campus community makes it just way more diverse, and with so many other opportunities. We have 500 plus clubs and organizations. The fact that we are a Catholic school, faith and spirituality is part of who we are. However, we want to say that we are a very welcoming campus as well. It's not just about Catholicism, but all religious. So we do have non-denominational faith centers all throughout campus, because we feel it's important to understand that everyone is unique and needs to be welcomed on campus. More than 80% of our students are committed to service at St. Mary's, which I think speaks huge of our values. We are NCAA Division III in sports. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. We do have also intramural sports. And for study abroad, this is huge. More than 50% of our students study abroad, because your financial aid award package transfers directly to your study abroad program. So that means that the only thing you have to pay is for your travel expenses. So the results, right? You see these here. Going to St. Mary's and an all women's college really is, 95% of our students are employed or in grad school within 1 year. And I think that also speaks huge of your hands-on experience on campus, your leadership opportunities, and the fact that you have St. Mary's and Notre Dame that have career fairs in both campuses throughout the year. So how to apply? We're on the Common App free application, as well as with the Dare to Discover application in our website. We have early decision and regular decision, and these are the application requirements. Know that we do a holistic review process in which we take all of these elements into we give them the same weight. We have been test optional since 2 years ago, and 100% of our students receive financial aid. So your merit scholarships will range from $15,000 to $30,000, and everyone who is accepted receives a merit scholarship. So for staying engaged, we are offering on-campus outdoor tours. I think your life will be changed when you come to St. Mary's, because it really gives you a panorama of really an inside scoop of how St. Mary's is going to be like for the next 4 years. And if you have any questions, this is my contact information. Thanks so much for being here and learning about St. Mary's.
Thank you for that presentation. As a reminder for our attendees, if you guys do have questions, definitely don't hesitate to drop them into the Q&A down below. Up next, St. John's College.
Sorry. Okay, so I am with St. John's College. I'm Caroline Randall, Director of Admissions. And St. John's College is one of the weirdest schools around. So I'm going to tell you some details about us. First, we have only one major, only one, but I promise it will prepare you for basically everything. First, we have no textbooks. We study all of our subjects with primary text, the original text. So when we study mathematics, you read Euclid's Elements, where you find out why numbers were even created. We read directly from Plato and Meno. We read from James Baldwin and W.E.B. Du Bois and Abraham Lincoln. All of our classes are discussion-based classes. The table that you see in this picture is an actual table in one of our classrooms. Everybody sits around the table, including the teacher. No teacher standing at the front of the room and telling you what to think. There are no tests. We study all of our subjects, the very open discussion-based concept where everyone has a voice at the table. You're going to take 4 years of math, 3 years of science. You're going to take ancient Greek and French. You're also going to study calculus in Latin. You're going to do music and humanities. This prepares you for just about everything. So we have 2 campus locations. We are the 3rd oldest college in the nation, and our first campus location is in Annapolis, Maryland. That whole square you see there makes up our entire campus. We have about 450 students. And so we are on the Chesapeake. We get sailing and crew, and we are next door to the Naval Academy, and we play croquet against the Naval Academy every year. Intramurals are a very big deal on our campus, and we do a lot of small group activities, a lot of swing dancing and Friday night lecture series, things for great book nerds on our campus. Our other location is Santa Fe, New Mexico. We are actually built into the Rocky Mountains at 7,300 foot elevation. Santa Fe is one of the oldest capital cities. It's also the highest in elevation. And we have the 3rd largest art market in the country. And so there's so much rich culture and amazing creative events you can go to. Because we are located in the mountains, we love hiking and rock climbing, cycling, skiing, and everything else. And we do a lot of chess and table tennis and yoga and archery. We can actually compete with other colleges in archery. We have about 350 students on our campus in Santa Fe. So again, very small. And you get amazing, beautiful campus locations. So now, if you are the type of student that loves to read, that loves to ask why, that recognizes that you don't need to be on one set, very narrow path and have to pick only one major in college, that's why you come to a school like St. John's. We study everything with our liberal arts curriculum, and it truly is the Swiss Army knife for just about any career you can imagine. So where do our alumni go? Just about everywhere. A large percentage of our students go into education. They can go straight into teaching at small private colleges, or excuse me, small private K through 12s. And we have a lot of schools that recruit from us. We do a lot within law and government. We actually have a 100% acceptance rate into law school for the past 25 years. We have quite a few students going to STEM, medical school, going into research facilities. Los Alamos Laboratories is right down the road from us. We do quite a few internships with them. Media, arts, communications. The founder of Atlantic Records and Motown came from St. John's. A lot of business, finance, healthcare, but we also have students that start major museums. The current editor of Huffington Post, senator in Nebraska, the current attorney general in California. Our students go anywhere and everywhere because they are fully developed to talk to people who are different from them and to question everything. So we call ourselves a great book school, and that means you're going to read over 200 books during your 4 years at St. John's, but not because these are the greatest books read, and these are not the greatest and smartest individuals. Einstein is a genius, but we teach you to question everything that Einstein wrote down. That can prepare you for almost any career. 85% of our students go on to graduate school. From a cost standpoint, we dropped our tuition to $35,000. We were part of the prestige pricing. More expensive means more important. We dropped it 3 years ago to $35,000. We haven't touched it since. 96% of our students have financial aid. We have full Pell matching grants to double the Pell grant. We try to make sure this is as affordable as possible. And so just to wrap things up with St. John's, we definitely want to encourage you to visit either of our campuses in Annapolis or in Santa Fe, but we also want you to think about what you want from your college experience. If you are unsure about your major, if you like the idea to really spread your wings with your intellectual curiosity, if you'd like to learn about a variety of different subjects and be prepared for all of the different careers you're going to have in your lifetime, that is why you go to a school like St. John's College. It's why we've been around for so long. We really value this unique education, and we'd really like to talk to you more about it. One final quirky fact about us, our mascot is the axolotl. If you have not looked them up, I encourage you to do so. It is the ugliest, coolest, weirdest underwater walking salamander type thing. And we actually study them because when they lose parts of their tail or legs, they grow them back completely. So check out the axolotl and check out St. John's College. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Up next, we have Salve Regina University.
Good evening, St. Ignatius. My name is Stephanie Dupuis, and I'm one of the Associate Deans of Undergraduate Admission at Salve Regina University. I'm also a proud alumna of the class of 2004. I had a degree in education and a double major in theater, and I'm so fortunate to still be part of our wonderful community. I currently recruit the state of Illinois and enjoy the times that I get to spend out in Chicago. So I look forward to seeing you. I did drop my information as well as our visit information in the chat box because we are hosting tours and have been since last summer. So we've been fortunate enough to have students on campus. We always start our talk about Salve Regina with how we were founded. Salve was founded about 75 years ago by the Sisters of Mercy. And the Sisters of Mercy were an interesting group of nuns. They originated in Dublin, Ireland, and they lived a life that was not cloistered. They lived in the community, surrounded by people and community members that really needed them. And they're known for their work in social work, healthcare, and education. When they started Salve Regina 75 years ago, their intent was to educate young women to go into the helping professions of education, social work, and nursing. We've grown and changed a lot since then, but a lot of our values and traditions remain the same, with the focus on community and social justice. Salve has 2,100 undergraduates as well as graduate and PhD students. It is interesting to know we're located in Newport, Rhode Island, which is right between Boston and New York City, and our students from outside the area certainly travel all over the Northeast when they're studying with us. But only 15% of our student body is from the state of Rhode Island. So we are a very residential campus. Our students live on campus, they're guaranteed housing, freshmen, sophomore, and junior year, and required to live on campus unless commuting from home. So for those of you who might be traveling from much further away, you can be happy to know that there will be other students on campus, lots of activity and things going on. Our students are come from 41 states and 21 nations. And the photo on the right is actually a picture of our historic campus. Our campus is made up of 7 Gilded Age estates that were summer homes in the late 1800s. And now they've been converted into classrooms and residence halls and other university buildings that overlook the Atlantic Ocean. I mentioned that a lot of the focus early on was in education, nursing, and social work. And while those programs are certainly programs that many people know us for, we have a wide variety of undergraduate majors. And our academic curriculum is founded in the liberal arts curriculum. Business, biology and the biomedical sciences, administration of justice, or criminal justice programs, and English communications and media studies are some of the other programs that we see a lot of students joining us to study. Our average class sizes are 18, and it's a 13-to-1 student to teacher ratio. Our students meet with their advisors when they first get to campus and are never in classes over 30 students. If you visit campus, Ogre Court, shown in this picture here, is where you will come to begin your tour. You'll notice there's some other minors, pre-professional programs listed, and we also have a wide array of accelerated master's degree programs. So for those students who want to stay an extra year and get their master's degree, there are many options like our MBA program and our applied behavioral analysis program in psychology. Here are some examples of some of our classroom settings. You'll notice that much of our classrooms are hands-on and the learning is experiential in nature. We do think it's important to truly get your hands dirty, like our students on the right and our cultural and historic preservation program who are doing a local archaeological dig. And our students really are out there doing service learning, putting to use what they're learning in the classroom in meaningful ways to make an impact on the world around them. We see about a third of our students also study abroad and immerse themselves in language and culture while doing so. Salve has over 80 clubs and organizations. We are also NCAA Division III and have 20 varsity athletics teams. And the city of Newport is such a wonderful, wonderful town, situated on Aquidneck Island and full of lots of historic, cultural, and many other opportunities for students to really immerse themselves within the community outside our campus walls. I'm going to quickly jump to the application process. Salve takes the Common App. The most important part of your application is going to be your day-to-day work in high school. We've been test optional for years and do find that the best indicator of success in our classrooms is what you're doing day to day. The only program that you have to apply to directly is our direct entry nursing program. We have a few options for applying: early action, early decision, as well as our regular decision deadlines. And for financial aid, we just require the FAFSA. Almost 100% of our families receive some sort of financial assistance. Merit awards range from $10,000 to $25,000 a year. And there's quite a few other scholarship opportunities available if you peruse our financial aid website. Last but not least, we do have quite a few opportunities to get to know us better. We are still doing campus tours, but have a wide range of virtual information sessions, tours, and workshops available. As I mentioned, I read all of our applications from the state of Illinois and look forward to getting to know you throughout this process and helping you as you make these next steps towards college. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for that presentation. Our final institution for this session is Sarah Lawrence College.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having us, and thank you for making it to the end. My name is Grace Bradley. I am an Assistant Director of Admission at Sarah Lawrence, she, her, hers, and I'm going to quickly give you a Sarah Lawrence at a glance presentation. The first thing to know is that Sarah Lawrence is a small private liberal arts college in Bronxville, New York, about 30 minutes north of New York City, which I will talk about in just a moment. We really are a small liberal arts college. We currently serve around 1,400 undergraduate students, and we also host around 300 graduate students. We do offer a number of 5-year programs. So in 5 years, you would get your master's as well as your bachelor's degree, notably our Art of Teaching for anyone interested in education, as well as the oldest women's history program in the country. The main thing to know about the Sarah Lawrence academic model is that it is one that is based around what we call an open curriculum. So it's really one that empowers students to have that hand in how you shape your academics. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. So as I mentioned, our location, Bronxville, New York, really gives students access to what we call the best of both worlds. Bronxville is your quintessential college town filled with coffee shops, mom and pop restaurants, little bookstores, arguably some of the best bagels that I've ever had, but I'm also biased. But in about 30 minutes on the Metro North commuter line, you can be in the heart of New York City, which I don't think needs much of an introduction. But this location really lends itself to giving students that small residential campus feel and experience, while also giving you access to everything that New York City has to offer. So New York City can really become your landscape. It can also really become your classroom. So, you could be in an art history class, and rather than make you look at prints of Van Gogh and Picasso and Matisse, we're going to take you to Met. We're going to take you to the MoMA and really get to have that hands-on experience. But it's also an experience that you really get to shape yourself. It's also one that presents numerous opportunities for alumni connections, as well as internships. We constantly send students to places like Simon & Schuster, the Late Night with Seth Meyers, the Tribeca Film Festival, as well as the UN. So as I said before, the campus is very much residential, and I think it's one that lends itself to being quite beautiful in many seasons. My personal favorite building here is what you see in the bottom right-hand corner. That is the Tea House. It is a student-run coffee shop where they, of course, serve tea as well as homemade baked goods, and all the money that is raised in the Tea House goes directly to our Student for Students Scholarship Fund. So the money that you use to buy your scone and coffee in the morning will go directly to funding a student internship, or sorry, a student scholarship rather. Our students also like to call it Hagrid's Hut because it does kind of look like it's from Harry Potter. But the campus is residential, so in non-COVID times, we do have 85% of students living on campus. Housing is guaranteed for all 4 years, so you will always have a place to stay. And we have a number of different options, everything from traditional dorms to apartment style, as well as even themed housing. So if you're interested in sustainability, social justice, the sciences, or intersectionality, there is a communal living opportunity for you to live with others who are just as interested in those topics as you are. So as I mentioned at the top, the liberal arts at Sarah Lawrence do look a little bit different. We do follow the open curriculum model. So rather than coming into Sarah Lawrence and formally declaring a major and sticking to that major for all 4 years, you actually get to design your own major, essentially. So this is what we call your concentration. You have the opportunity and flexibility to take classes across the board. So maybe you're coming in really interested in theater and economics, but also pre-med. You can absolutely do that. You get to work one-on-one with a faculty advisor who we call your Don to shape your 4 years to be the most successful and the most fulfilling to your academic goals and needs. You will also get to engage in independent research starting from day one. We call this your conference work, and you'll have the ability for all those small discussion-based classes that you take to really delve into specific topics that are of interest to you. Those could look like traditional research papers, but you can also be a bit more creative with them. One of the students that I'm currently working with in our office, he is reimagining what Romeo and Juliet would look like from the perspective of the supporting characters rather than the two main characters. So he is completely rewriting Shakespeare right now, and that is what his conference work looks like. So there's really no limit to what you can do with it, and that is the goal with it. In terms of the community, it definitely is one of individuals. I think it's one that is absolutely much more collaborative than it is competitive because everyone is doing something very different. You could be in a class with people studying sociology, but likely people are also doing other things, like they are involved in one of our D3 athletic teams. They could be a part of one of our student safer spaces like Harambe, our Black Student Union, or Unidad, our Latinx Student Union, or the LGBTQIA space. And very quickly for the application, the biggest thing to know is that we are test optional, and we did remove our application fee this year. And so it will officially be free from now on to apply to Sarah Lawrence. And I think I'm out of time. So here's my contact information, and I will also put it into the chat.
Thank you everyone for those wonderful presentations. We do have a few minutes left, so we're going to do a quick little Q&A. And if you guys still have questions, the Q&A button feature at the bottom is still live, so definitely enter those in as well. But I'm going to have our representatives answer, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go in presentation order. So we will start with Franklin University, Switzerland.
Sure. There's lots of stuff to consider, but I think that the first thing is don't be afraid to reach out to us in the admissions offices at each institution you're considering. We are great resources for you to answer any questions or concerns or comments that are coming up for you. And we are really happy to engage with anything that you guys have that comes up throughout the process.
Wartburg College.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say definitely look into as many colleges as possible. And if you can get on the campuses to visit them, you'll find if it's the right fit for you.
St. Mary's College.
Thanks. I would say, first of all, see where you want to go. Are you going east, west? Reach out to your counselors. And then there are so many virtual options. If you're not able to make it to New York, California, everyone is already doing virtual tours. Go ahead and take advantage of those. I think those are a great tool right now before you start really going and visiting on campus.
St. John's.
They give something really practical. Create a college email account so that all of this information from colleges, because we like to send you a lot of stuff. So this way, if parents and students can both check the email, you don't have college stuff getting cluttered up with all of your personal stuff. You know it's important. And it's also okay to unsubscribe or tell colleges you're no longer interested instead of just maybe rudely emailing back, because humans do read your emails. But create a good college account to start sorting through everything.
Salve, Regina.
These are all really good suggestions. So I'm going to take the college visit piece just one step further. I feel sometimes students will come and visit our campus and rush to try to make 3 or 4 other college visits in a day. But I do think it is so important to spend a little extra time in the places that you're visiting. First and foremost, spend extra time on campus. Go sit in a campus cafe, have lunch in the dining hall, wander around and talk to students who aren't providing campus tours, and ask them how they feel about the college. And do take some time to spend outside of the campus in the local community, because that place will become your home away from home as well.
Sarah Lawrence.
Sure. Definitely one that's more academic focused. I would say look at the course catalogs. You're going to be spending these 4 years taking classes in various departments and with various professors. So spend some time flipping through those course catalogs, see what catches your eye. If you already know what you're interested in, look at what's going to be available for you, do some digging on the professor, and see if you're really going to be excited about the classes, because that is what you're going to spend a bulk of your time doing.
Thank you all for those wonderful pieces of advice. We have come to the conclusion of our session, so I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We would appreciate any feedback you can give us. And remember to our students that you can ask your St. Ignatius counselor questions about the college search process in the counselor corner. And in about a week, you'll be able to find the session's recording as well as any others at the same site where you registered. Again, thank you for joining us and have a great evening.